Greetings and salutations, Second Star right back with some more Raid Shadow Legends, and today we will talk about Jinglehunter. He is fusion food for Silly and the Lucky right now as I make this video. So before I unceremoniously feed him to the portal and is sacrificed to whatever beasts lay beyond that grant us our legendaries, I thought let's go over his skills and let's just see what he does. Since he's already at level 50 with 5 ascensions, let's just see what he can do before he is sacrificed. Okay, so if you can get past his appearance, and it is a little bit ridiculous, let's admit it, he was one of the holiday champions from Raid's first year of operation. And yeah, it's kind of sad. He looks like a disgruntled department store elf. He's had it, the long holiday hours and the overbearing parents and their whiny ass children and the demands of management at this time of year. And so he snapped. He's decided to get his bow and arrow and, take out the holiday section of a JCPenney. But if you can get past that, we can look at his skills and see what he can actually accomplish. Okay, his A1 is called Mistletoe. Yeah, see what you did there. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Has a 40% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns if the attack is critical. You can get that up to a 40% chance? No, 50% chance? So 50% chance. And having a decreased speed on an A1 with a multi-hit is actually pretty cool. Not bad at all on his A1 there. Jack Frost. See what he did there. Attacks one enemy, has a 90% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if the attack kills an enemy. And this was buffed. He used to be not quite as good. That was a lower percentage. There were some other aspects of it that they changed, and he's a much better champion now than when he first came out. And you actually saw him a lot in the arena, back in the day. You still see him a little bit now, but mostly it's people that are just not playing the game anymore, and they're kind of falling down from down through the ranks. But his skills are actually really, really good in an arena. And let's go and move on to his A3. Cold Snap attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter by 20% if this attack is critical. Fills the chamber's turn meter by 10% if the attack is critical. And it's on a 5-turn native cooldown that can get down to 4 turns. Here's the thing, though. You don't really need to invest books in this guy because his Jack Frost is the base 90% chance is still pretty good. The 40% chance still feels useful with a 2-hit A1. And the Cold Snap, it just depends on crit rating. So if you just build him for crit, you can kind of ignore the books. It might be nice to have Jack Frost down to the 3-turn cooldown from the native 4-turn cooldown, but I don't think it's completely necessary. You would get more, definitely do more damage more often and more crowd control, which can make getting through dungeon waves easier. But even as he's set up now without books, he seems to work okay, provided you have, good enough gear and good enough support. Okay, and of course he has the 24% speed in arena, which is why he used to be pretty popular. But interestingly, he is a much better champion now than he was then, so I just, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, I do not anticipate a resurgence in his use, but he actually isn't all that bad. Okay, so artifacts. Let's go in, and before we even go into the artifacts, let's just look at the total stats. So we know that the main thing is that we need 100% or at least close to 100% crit rate, which I have achieved somehow. Glass Cannon Extraordinaire. He has under 18,000 hit points. That's really low, but with good enough support, he can actually get through okay. 2,500 attack, defense under 1,000, speed 156, which isn't great, but it's just a scotch slower than my debuffers, which is what we really want. The aforementioned near 100% crit rate, which I am okay with at this point. Crit damage 181%. I really leaned into that as much as I could. Resist at 72, and then if you were going to take him into arena, accuracy, we would want more than the 68 that I have here. But it's fine for dungeons at that rate, especially if you have the masteries. And I just went up to 2 tiers to get the crit rate. It's super basic. I did kind of anticipate bringing him into arena, so I did get the shield breaker. It did not turn out to be very useful for me because I'm in gold 4, and one of 2 things happened when I took him into arena. Either my team just kind of wiped out the other team and it wasn't really much to look at, or Jinglehunter was taken out in the first turn and he couldn't do anything. So no video of my level 50 along with my other team in arena because it just wasn't much to look at. But if you're going to take him in arena, that'd be a good choice. But instead, I just have him with the crit rate, crit damage, masteries, and then I have the accuracy ones over in the support tree, which is fine for this level, right? Okay, we're just kind of trying to push through some mid-range dungeon levels as best we can, and just see what he accomplishes. And it's really, he serves that purpose actually pretty well, which we'll see in a second. I have some divine crit rate here. I have a crit rate set, and then I have a broken set. It's just coincidence that they're both frost. Thematically it fits, but I just got it because it was a 60% attack with some crit rate accuracy on there, which was helpful, and then 80% crit damage. I really leaned into the crit damage because I wanted to just maximize his DPS as much as I could. And even having a 60% attack rate chest is risky in dungeons, but if you have good enough support, you can usually get through that. I have a crit damage amulet. It's only at level 12, and I don't know why. I think I stole it from another champion that I kind of forgot I was working on or something. I don't know where it came from. Regardless, of course, this would be much better at 16. It's not there. What are you going to do? Regardless, at this level, I'll show you how it performs, and you can decide for yourself how you like it. All right, so let's mosey on over to our first dungeon. Right, this is Ice Golem's 15. Now, he does have an affinity advantage here, but it's kind of cool. You can see what he does. He had a nice AoE strike there, and then he kills the champion and then freezes everyone else. Really great crowd control if you can get that kill in. And the AI is actually not bad about doing it on waves. You see later on in the boss minions, not so much. Sometimes he'll use his A2 when he shouldn't use his A2, but as far as the myriad of AI problems that this game has, that one actually rates pretty low. He actually doesn't do too bad of a job at it. For support, I have Tyrell leading for the attack down. Again, I know I needed attack downs because his health is so low. Gore grab to bring him back when he dies, which inevitably will happen. Apothecary, who's at 60, and Zealot, who's at 60, that I brought in for support. Alright, and yeah, he had some more crowd control, so that was nice. He does have some pretty decent hits on here, too. His damage output, you see, is not bad. It's on par with Tyrell, who's level 60, and pretty well geared, because he's on the clan boss team. 23,000 hit, not bad at all. Again, he does take some damage, though. He definitely needs a lot of support when we bring him in. Let's abandon this for now, because this is a long fight, and we will just skip to the end. Okay, here it is after another 6 minutes or so, and he's been revived 2 or 3 times by Gore grab. He does come in nice 37,000 hit on the minion, froze the other minion. That was a nice A2 Jack Frost. And then he goes and takes out the boss. Not bad. I'm sorry for everything being choppy. Plarium Play has wreaked havoc upon my laptop. Okay, so Jinglehunter, you see he did almost 800,000 damage. Granted, almost everyone else is just support, so it was up to him to do all the DPS. But the fact that he's able to carry all the damage burden throughout this level dungeon is pretty impressive. I was actually happy with how he performed. Let's take him somewhere else. Let's see where this one is. This is Spider's 11. Now, granted, that's a low level, but anything above this, and he gets just targeted right away, and it doesn't make for a very fun video. But farming Spiders 10 and 11, if you're looking for silver and gear, isn't a bad way to do it. You can go worse. You can do worse than Spiders 10 and 11 for farming. So he actually acquits himself quite nicely in this. This is a fast run, I believe. Fellhound, ostensibly he's there for tanking. He's my usual tank when I'm running my usual team. Of course, I slipped in Jack Frost instead of and Apothecary. I had replaced them out just to get through this level for Jack Frost, but ordinarily it's not Apothecary taking all the damage. I have someone else in there. I don't remember who it is. That's going to be a problem later on when I try to progress more in the dungeon, but Fellhound, he's tanking. He has no hit points. He's all defense. And then, of course, Coldheart in for DPS, Dracomorph for the debuffs. I don't think I have Apothecary in my main team. I think I have someone else. I don't remember. That might be a problem later. Hopefully, it'll come to me in a Eureka moment, and I'll put my team back together the proper way. No, we're almost done. You got a heal in there. That's all right. The main point is he does a really nice bunch of damage in these early stages. I don't think as you progress through the dungeons, I don't think he'd help much. But if you're just farming and you want your jewelry, he actually can help you get through these rather quickly. Come on, guys. There we go. Heartseeker, nice. We'll put an end to that right quick. But as you can see, he did 639,000 damage, more than Coldheart, less than Foulhound, but my Foulhound's really built for this. So, as you can see, Jinglehunter can hold his own in the damage department. And I've also taken him in Fire Knight, and he acquits himself well in there because of this turn meter manipulation. Really useful on Fire Knight. He does not do so well in Dragon. I mean, he puts out damage just fine, but you can't manipulate the Dragon's turn meter, and that's kind of his shtick. So I would kind of refrain from bringing him in Dragon unless you absolutely had to, because he's not going to help you a whole lot there. So anyway, that's Jinglehunter. I'm relatively impressed with his performance. Granted, I have 2 pieces of 6-star gear on there, which you might not have as you're just building and developing through these dungeons. But as you progress and you hit those thresholds where that 6-star gear drops, where you should be farming as you're progressing, you will get some gear, even if it's weird. Like I said, I have frost gear. But if you're just looking for the main stat, you know, the crit damage, the crit rates, the big hit point boost on the 6-star chest, the percentage that'll help get you through more content. You know, that's just part of the game, man. You have to go through these early stages, go through the growing pains, get the gear, equip it, you know, level it, spend all the silver. It's a hassle, but it's very rewarding. So as you can see, just grinding through the game, I took those two pieces of frost gear that were 6 stars and actually made this relatively mediocre champion perform pretty well, right? And people say it a lot. Any DPS can do that, and they can. This is just an example of how this guy does it. And with his turn meter and speed manipulation, he actually is super useful, and he's a little bit overlooked. So if you have him kicking out in your vault and you think you know, you're having some trouble somewhere, think about his Jack Frost A2 with his freezes. Think about his A1 that reduces speed. Think about his A3 that manipulates turn meter. You know, you really could do worse. He's not a bad champion at all. So I think people might want to give him another look if you haven't given him a look since. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. I was pretty pleased with the performance that I saw from this guy. I'd had him for almost a year and just never used him. So I'm kind of glad that this Cillian event came out so that I could build him up and see what he could do and showcase it for y'all if you had the same questions like I do. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys. I'm out.